Yeah, what other people was good. Today I'll be talking about shortcuts. The point is, shortcuts is what is shortcut is trying to speed up a process through a certain method, which is not supposed to be, and probably that is going to bear a bad consequences later. Let me say sooner or later, right? So for the fact that every shortcut have bad consequences. I can't say you should take shortcuts and I can't say you shouldn't take shortcuts. But the point is, if you are going to take shortcuts, make sure that you are ready to face the consequences. So why taking shortcuts if you know you can't take the consequences? So that's the point. When we are talking of shortcuts, there is a huge, there's a huge channel of shortcuts in the world today, and there are some shortcuts that have been normalized, and almost everyone in the world now see it like they are just that's just how things are done or things like that. From examination malpractice to um, illegal source of living, scams, fraud, robbery, stealing, getting into drug businesses, and things like that. Bribery, using several ways that are not, I mean, several using several methods or several leverage in the way that are not morally and legally correct to do things. But the point is that eventually those things usually backfire. It usually backfire. And one thing a lot of people refuse to know is that they see the people who take those shortcuts and they are enjoying it and they are enjoying the fruits of the shortcuts that they have taken. But when they are suffering for it, a lot of people don't know. Most of the people who took shortcuts and they are in one position or the other today, they are not fully. Let me tell you, if they have acquired some money through it, and let's say the government is not pursuing them like that, right? Let me tell you, they are not having fulfillment. They are not having the freedom that they should have. I think they don't. They know that. I think that's how it is. They don't have. They are not having the freedom that they should have. The people who have acquired money through illegal ways, and they stayed out of the country. Let's say as a Nigerian, they stayed out of the country. They can't enter this country anymore. And the ones who try to enter the country, right? They are trying to bear the consequences. And there was someone who was actually arrested by EFCC. This was someone who based in Dubai, was arrested by the EFCC, and even though he has been released, but the point was that at the end of the day, he is still trying to let people know that he is not whom people think he is. I don't think you should care about what people say about you, even though you can still do legal job and have a legal source of income, and people are still going to lie about that. That one is normal for Africans. That's all around the world, not only for Africans. But the point is that no matter what people are saying outside, if you know that you have nothing illegal or nothing immoral about you, you won't be concerned. You won't be sad about it. You don't. But if you're actually guilty, no matter what, this thing will always find a way to disturb you. Let's now say that you are unable to get away with it, you are going to jail. You know what? Now, another type of shortcut that people don't usually pay attention to in life is fornication and adultery. Let me take fornication in the first place. Fornication is a shortcut to achieving sexual pleasure, right? When you're supposed to get married and have it with the person that you got married to. But people don't want to get married, right? They want to remain single, and they want to be enjoying the pleasure of someone who is married already, right? So isn't that a shortcut? And by doing that, they expose themselves to a lot of dangers and a lot of risks, from sexually transmitted diseases to to spending a lot of time. Let me tell you, dating takes a whole lot of time. To spending a whole lot of time on a relationship that they themselves know that this is not going to lead to anything tangible. Spending a lot of time on that, you know, spending a lot of money on that as well at times, spending a lot of mental energy on that. You know, you go through series of emotional ups and downs in the relationship, a relationship that you are staging for no other reason than sex. The same thing for adultery. Let's say, me as a Muslim now, I'm permitted to marry 2 wives, and I have a wife. Instead of me to marry the second one, you are committing adultery all around. Committing adultery all around exposes you to the same thing that fornication exposed you to. And in adultery already, you are exposing yourself to the danger of having the woman that you have at home becoming your enemy as well. And she won't even care about you if anything happens to you, or she might even be planning for your downfall by herself. That's another thing. Apart from the sexual part or the relationship part, back to the aspect of life, when we are talking of power in politics, this one happened to one Oyo State politician, right? This Oyo State politician, he won an election to become the governor in the first 4 terms, first 4 years as first term, second term, second 4 years, right? And this was someone who won a state twice consecutively on a landslide. He defeated his opponents, right? And he is unable to win his own city, which is just a portion of the state. He couldn't win it. Why? He dragged the case in court, tribunal, Supreme Court, all these things. He still couldn't look for a way or find a way to skyrocket his votes to meet up to his opponent, or talk less of even defeating his opponent. Why? Because he didn't actually achieve the ones that he has achieved fairly. If he has achieved it fairly and people have actually voted for him, I think he shouldn't have a problem getting that straight. That's why a lot of people, when they go to universities, they have the degrees and they have the grades. They have the grades. I came out with 2.1, I came out with 2.2, I came out with first class, even though I've never seen people with I don't see people with first class actually looking for jobs. But people with 2.1, people with 2.2, they go around saying they are looking for jobs, they are looking for this. Why can't they use that knowledge to do something? Why can't they use it to do something? I think you can easily use it to do something. Let's say someone who study Yoruba now, right? I know of someone who didn't study Yoruba, and he wrote a book about the history of this Yoruba. What's the name? He wrote a history of when all these what's the name? This controversy of all these obas and shit, when all these things are coming up and it is going frenzy on social media. He started writing things about the Yoruba's ancestral histories, and he's selling it by PDF, and it's something to live by. He's simply tapping from the clouds of this news that was going around about these obas. This oba is superior to this and that, all these things. And so now imagine someone who actually studied Yoruba, someone who studied Arabic and Islamic studies is looking for job. What happens to all the things that people don't know? What know about Islam? What happens to the comparative what's the name that you can explain to people and you can make your money off it? What happens to the little controversies? I mean, the things that people argue about in Islam, like marrying 2 wives, the conditions of marrying 2 wives. Is it good to do charm or not? Is it good to be a musician as a Muslim or not? This is something really, really controversial, right? The Quran said it is not good. There's one hadith that people usually rely on, that the Prophet said that there's so much wisdom in music. All these things, why can't they do things out by themselves? Why? Even though I know the country is really, really hard, I know, right? But the point is that these people a lot of them still go abroad and they still complain that there's no job, things like that. But the point is still that a lot I'm talking of the people who have the resources to actually do, because going to university and having the knowledge alone can't actually make you rich, or can't actually get you the money. But you know, you need some like capital to initiate, to put out your initiative or what you innovated or your idea, to put it out there. But even the people who have these resources as well, and they have the knowledge and they have the everything, they are unable to do not anything with it. Why? Because they've taken shortcuts. And let me tell you, there is, you know, I don't want to be going on and on. It's just happened everywhere. It happens everywhere. If you win a case in court, I'm talking of from the legal perspective, like, you know, from the legal aspect, if you win a case unfairly in court, you know, unless your opponent doesn't want to drag issues with you, if he's ready to drag issues with you, he will still be finding every minute points, every small thing, to always be able to push that case further with you. You might bribe and bribe and bribe and bribe and bribe, but the point is, the truth is still going to taunt you. It's still going to haunt you, and it is going to hurt you. It's still going to hurt you at the end of the day. So no need for taking shortcuts. Every shortcuts have the consequences. But if you are ready to bear the consequence of the shortcuts, go ahead. Shortcut is sweet, less work, more results. But let me tell you, at the end of the day, shortcuts in anything, at the end of the day, those processes you skipped, there are some lessons that you need to learn there that is going to help you to maintain your results, or to maintain or to sustain to help you to sustain your results, so that you won't go down immediately. So the people who actually took the slow lane and they bow down to the process, they are going to be enjoying their results for a long period of time, and you who didn't have the skill and the experience and the lessons to maintain your own results and maintain your own success, will actually go down the drain. Make your choice.